a sec. So here's a radiator that's leaking. I put some Aerodite on it and it helped, but it is still leaking a little bit. So I've got some of this premium radiator cooling system stop leak, which I'm not really that happy about, but anyway. So I'm just going to put some in. Put that in my pocket. No, I don't really want to drop that. I kind of want to smell it. It's white. Have a look in there. Kind of gross, actually. It smells very unhealthy, I'll tell you that much. Just trying to work out how much I put in. All right, let's see what happens. Right, you joined me in a random field somewhere in a farm, a rural town in the UK. So here's the Mini. So far, I'm reasonably happy with my purchase. However, I also think I got a little bit too excited when I bought it. And I found a few more problems, which is not really somewhat expected with a 1,700 pound Mini. Firstly, I didn't notice a radiator leak because I only drove it for about 15 minutes. But then when I bought it and then started driving it, I was giving it a bit of a workout. I was copping a bit of a flogging. And then the radiator started to leak. Only a little bit. So I put a little bit of stop leak in the radiator, which is a bit cringe-worthy. But anyway, another concern of mine is rust. So the whole underbody of the car, okay, I take that back. Oh, God. I'm on these Zin pouches. I find it's really good for brain function. Anyway, it's just burning a bit. But, so the actual body and the seals are really good, but some of the suspension components are pretty rusty. Also, at the same time, this passed its MOT pretty recently, and I've seen a few people with their cars, and what's deemed acceptable in this country in terms of rust is very different to what is deemed acceptable in Australia. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This is just a new level of corrosion that I've just never seen before to be acceptable. Or maybe it was a dodgy MOT, who knows. But yeah, I am enjoying it, but I'm also finding I've never really driven a front wheel drive car quickly, and there's a bit of a learning curve, but it's nothing really too crazy. But hello there. Like, I know front engined rear wheel drive cars and the way the lines you take, and like when you brake, when to add throttle, going around corners and stuff, and I know that like the back of my hand. I've never driven a front wheel drive car manual quickly, so it's a bit of a learning curve, but I'm enjoying the challenge. But yeah, it's a bit different. It's a bit different. I'm not really sure how long I'm going to have this car for. But yeah, so it also gets pretty bad fuel economy considering the size of the engine. Now, I knew fuel economy can't be... Yeah, fuel economy is a funny thing. I never really cared too much about it, but when you have a 1.6 litre engine that gets 33.2 miles to the gallon, and that's me driving like a grandpa 85% of the time, that's pretty bad, to be honest. And to put a full tank of fuel in this car, that cost me £75, which is about $140, and it's a 53 litre tank or something. And so to me, that was just outrageous. All right, let's go for a bit of a drive. So yeah, my initial thoughts on the Mini are that I've always liked these, and I've always wanted to own one, but I think the honeymoon phase of a good Facebook Marketplace deal is starting to wear off a little bit, and that's not really a surprise really to anyone. But yeah, it's it's a little bit different to what I thought it was going to be. Let's put it that way. So, because my other options were an MX-5, which have got problems with rust. Yeah, tell you what, it's like every car in this country's got issues with rust, it seems like. No wonder they're cheap when they get old. Like, the UK car market is just crazy in terms of, at least to me, in terms of what sort of bargains that you can get. Like, this car would be worth close to $10,000 in Australia, and I got it for the equivalent of $3,300, which is just crazy. Insurance for me is £1,200, which I thought was kind of expensive, but car insurance in the UK is pretty outrageous at the moment, apparently. So yeah, my initial thoughts are I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot more space in. Well, it's got back seats. It's a 4-seater. It's got a boot that's pretty small, but yeah, it's a lot more usable for someone like me compared to having an MX-5, which I could hardly fit my bags in it. So let's give it a bit of a hoot here. Oh no, there's someone there. I don't really want to disrupt the peace in this small country village. No, you want to be a nice human. If I lived out here and someone was flying up and down the road, I wouldn't be too impressed, especially if my house was on the road like that person's there. Anyway, maybe I'm just overthinking the whole thing. I'm pretty good at doing that. But yeah, and you know, I've also been in the UK for about a month now. It's crazy to think that about a month ago I was just at home, not really doing a whole lot. Just trying to work out what I do with my life. And well, I haven't really figured that out yet, which is fine. But at least I'm over here now. So it'll be a nice experience. It's a bit different than what I thought. It's very similar yet That's all right. Yeah, don't wave. I feel like that if you let someone pass by, especially on a narrow road like this, then you need to wave. But I'll put these windows up so you can hear me. But it's a bit different than what I thought. I thought it was going to be better and or different. It certainly is different. I'm not necessarily sure if it's better, but I've only been here for a month, so it's also, I probably don't have the best picture to accurately describe the UK. So, to be completely honest, it really does make me appreciate Australia a lot more living here. Like, I went to like some of the beaches in the UK. Like, yeah, they're not bad, but like, well, I mean, yeah, we really do get spoiled in Australia with all our beaches. Like, it's pretty hard to find a bad beach. The weather as well. Summer here, and this is a warm day. Well, so today, what is it? It's 21.5 degrees Celsius outside. You know, it's nice weather, but this is, you know, it's summer. So yeah, but I really do want to give the UK a good go before maybe I decide to come home, or maybe I decide to go somewhere else. So I'm going to be going to Europe soon in this car, which is a big reason why I bought it. So alright, let's give it a bit of a workout. Well, it's a bit tight, can't see properly. Biggest thing that I've kind of realised is that was reasonable. It's not that it's not that fast, this thing, but you know, it's not too bad. But the biggest thing that coming here has sort of made me realise is that I was kind of just living in this bubble, and I wasn't really that exposed to the rest of the world. And although that's good in some sense, because, and although that's not the worst thing, like it's really good to get out and get a pretty broad, like, to further my understanding of the world and different cultures. And so, you know, it's, so far it's been good, and I have, you know, I don't regret coming here. In some regards, I do kind of wish that maybe I came here on a holiday before I spent $4,000 on a visa for 2 years, but yeah, you get that in the big jobs, I guess. But yeah. So back on what I was saying, it's made me realise how I was really living in this small kind of area, well, this small bubble. And I mean, if it gets to 3 or 4 months and I really hate it, you know, I can always go home. Like, I'm very fortunate to be in that position where I can always come home. So yeah, I'll see how long I'm here for and what I end up doing and where I end up living. But yeah, to be honest, that I've just really got this thought that I really can't shake, and it just makes me really want to go to the US, pretty much just coming out and, or at least, you know, living somewhere else, meeting new people. And the US is pretty close to the UK. It's about like New York's about a 6-hour flight, 6-7 hours, which to me is pretty close. But at the same time, Sydney to California, like LAX, that's about, what is it, 10 hours or something, and it's about $1,000 ticket Australian dollars, that is. Not not US, but yeah, it's. I mean, who knows where I'm going to be like, but in this country, you really do need a car unless you live in London. If you live in London, there's no point having a car at all. It's kind of pointless, but yeah. So anyway, I'll see where I end up and what I'm going to be doing, but yeah, who knows? I don't know. So anyway, I thought I'd give you my thoughts on the Mini and just sort of an update on my impressions of the UK. Some of you might find this interesting. Hopefully, some of you do anyway. But yeah, it's just quite different. Okay, no, it's not quite different. It's very similar. Yet culturally, it's very similar. But I also didn't really realise how much influence the US has on Australia now that I'm here. And yeah. And because I'm an Australian citizen, I can get this thing called an ESTA visa, which means that I can stay in the US for up to 90 days per visit. So that doesn't mean that I can like move there and then every 88 days or so fly to Mexico and then re-enter. It really works that if I'm there for 3 months, I need to leave for 3 months. So, and it's also up to the discretion of the US Customs and Immigration. But in theory, I can spend a big chunk of the year there, and I'll need to double check the ESTA requirements, but it gives Commonwealth citizens a lot of freedom. That's like the favorite word in the US language. Yeah, the US. But yeah. So anyway, I've been rambling on for a little while, but I'll leave you with this. I'm going to be here for a little while, and I'll just see what happens. Alright, I'll see you all later. Au revoir.